Welcome, everyone, to a beautiful Tuesday. Already, it's Tuesday. So I will respond to you. Yes, I shall. Today's topic, everybody was Kung Fu fighting. That's our topic today. Kung Fu. Yeah? Why? Well, of course, my son and I have watched that movie I don't know how many times. But last night I was just someone said, "You should watch this," and I was like, "Sure." So I watched it again because I wanted to talk to us about comparison because we do this way too much. I wanted to talk about comparison. And after I watched Kung Fu Panda, then I realized why. I needed to watch this movie to help with comparison. You see, as people, we were taught, we compete, we vie, we compare who's the best, who's the top dog. This is what we do. This is what we're taught to do. Be the biggest, brightest, fastest in comparison to someone else. Is really what we're taught. But last night as I was watching the movie, I don't know if you've ever seen it. If you've not, well, it's pretty funny. But there's more than meets the eye in the movie. So you've got the famous five. You've got tigress, you got monkey, you got snake, you've got uh crane, and you got mantis, right? And they are vying to be the the warrior. Yeah? That's what they're vying for. And Poe just happens to just because he just loves kung fu so much. He wanted to go see what was going on and he couldn't. And then finally he got in, and Master Oogway chooses him to be the dragon warrior. And everybody's like, "What the? Where did he come from? He hasn't even trained a day in his life. What do you mean he is the dragon warrior?" So now Shifu, he starts because he's a little bit upset. And he wants to train Poe the way he has trained the five. He's showing Poe, he's comparing Poe to the others. And he's saying, well, in order to do these things, you have to have been training since birth. You know, you have to be like them. So of course now Poe doesn't give up. And he's in the kitchen and because he's upset, he eats. He's a panda. They're always eating. So Shifu looks and he goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! How did you do that?" Poe's like, "Well, I don't know. I've just always done it." Then he decides because he realizes, I can't train you the way I train the others because you're not like them. So the whole point today is this: you are not like other people. You don't learn the way they do, right? Mind you, they all come out learning the same fighting style, right? Because they had to learn how to be fighters. This is what they had to learn how to do. And at the end of the day, Poe became an incredible fighter. But Poe is not like Mantis. Poe is not like Crane. Poe is not like Tigress or Snake or Monkey. Each person has their own strength. And so at first, Poe seemed to have nothing. He just seemed like this chubby little creature that smelled bad. That's what he seemed like. But then he defeated the bad guy. I don't care about spoilers. I always watch the end before I watch the beginning anyway. So watch it and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Why comparison is a killer. He compared himself. Even his master compared him to the others. What's this telling you? This tells you that that's what we do naturally. We compare ourselves. But the problem with comparison is that When we compare ourselves to others, we blind the eye because you cannot see who you are. So don't compare yourself to anyone else. They have their own strengths and weaknesses. You have your own. You have to learn according to your style, yours. But here's the interesting part: the bad guy, Tai Lung, he's a Siberian tiger. He's got the tail. He had a problem. He had a problem with his ego. He was the best. He really was the best champion. Fighting style, everything. But he had a very bad attitude. He had a problem with blaming people for his shortcomings. That is also what happens when you compare yourself. Because when he saw Po, he's like, you cannot defeat me. You see, we presume that because someone is not like us, we can't learn from them. See, comparison blinds the eye. So today, when you're going about your day, if you catch yourself comparing yourself to others, oh, but they've been doing this longer. Oh my God, they're so much better than me. Or perhaps you're on the other side. Well, I'm the best there is. They don't have anything on me. They cannot defeat me. Perhaps that's you. The point of the matter is this: take the time to cultivate who you are, which means you have to get to know you. You have to spend time in that quiet space to know you. Because when you begin to know yourself, now you move according to who you are. His fighting style as a panda, he used his body. I mean, you all use your bodies in Kung Fu, you use your whole body. But the way his body was uniquely designed was his strength, right? So you have to use everything at your disposal. That is you. You have to use you, not who, because Poe's father was like, but I need you to take over the noodle shop. He was adopted. I need you to take over the noodle shop. Noodle is in our veins, he says. Sometimes we get boxed in by tradition and we can't see our way past it to discover who we are. But Poe just had a love for something. He just loved Kung Fu. And that's why I keep telling you on a daily basis, do what you love doing. But because we don't see the value in it, we brush it off as being insignificant. When in actuality, it is not. It is you. We ask that popular question, well, what do you bring to the table? That's the question we ask. It's not what you're bringing to the table. Who are you bringing to the table? Who are you? What is your substance? What is your essence? What is it that makes you, you? Had he believed what he'd been told, that he was just a panda, like we are all told, oh, you're just this, oh, look at where you came from. Nobody's ever done that before. Who do you think you are that you should be able to do this? You think that you're somehow insignificant because you're not like somebody else. When in actuality, it is irrelevant what the other person is or who the other person is. There is only the self. And they discover this when he opens up the dragon scroll. What is the secret ingredient? You. You have to bring who you are. You. But it's not who you are in comparison to. It is who you are because of who you are. All of the things that you have learned, and I said this to you last week, shoot, I say it to you every day. All of the things that you've learned throughout your lifetime so far, you have to use those at your disposal. He had a problem with eating. He ate when he was upset. Poor panda. This is why he's so big, right? He had to use those skills. He actually saw food when he was trying to defeat Tai Lung. He was like, oh, I got to get to that. And he saw it as food and he pursued it the way he would pursue food. You have to use everything at your disposal that is you to bring about your change. You don't dog it. You don't say, but I'm such a loser. No, that's not what you say. You use what is at your disposal because it is what makes you you. It is all the pieces that you have experienced through life to make the whole picture. So if you learned to do, I don't know what you learned to do because I don't know what you've come through. Those things molded and shaped you. So use them now, but use them in a positive way, a way that propels you forward, a way that expands your thinking. That's what you use them for instead of looking at them and saying, oh, but that's useless. I can't use that. What good is that? You see how quick we are to judge ourselves? That doesn't propel you forward, it holds you back. This is the point today. We do it all the time. And sometimes we do it in such a quick fashion, we don't see it. Comparison. That's what we do. It will blind your eye and rob you of so much. Oh, but they're better than me. Nobody is better than you. Do you know why nobody is better than you? Because they're not you. Many people can do the same job. But if you don't do it at your best, you are the one lacking. If they don't do that job at their best, they are lacking. And you're not lacking because somebody's better than you. You're lacking because you don't train, you don't practice. That is what it is. Nobody is better than you. It doesn't matter how many people do the same job as you. Are you practicing? Are you being your best? You cannot be George's best. That's his job to be his best. Your job is to be your best. That's your job. So you have to hone your crafts. Cultivate your essence is what you get to do. It doesn't matter who is more beautiful than you. It doesn't matter. They're beautiful because of their facial structure. They're beautiful because of their form. That's why. But what makes you beautiful? Look for that. Because when we spend our time and we compare ourselves to other people, as I said, you will go and you will behave by way of how that comparison makes you feel. And the more you compare, the worse you feel. You keep your eye upon what you are doing. You train according to how you learn. Train according to how you are. You, not anybody else. I can't be Billy Carson. I can't be Eric Von Daniken or Paul Wallace. I can't be any of those people. I have to be me. Just like you have to be you. Without your unique expression, you understand? You are whole already. You're whole. You have a unique expression, a unique way to be. Oh, but I don't know what that is, Angela. I don't think I have any skills. I don't think I have anything. Because you're too busy looking outside. You're too busy looking outside. It's funny when he unfurled the dragon scroll and all he saw was himself. Who else do you think there is to see? There is no one else to see but you. You, right? See, sometimes now people will ask you, well, isn't that egotistical? Isn't that self-centered? Isn't that no. It is when you look at yourself and compare yourself. You will either put yourself as the superior or you will put yourself as the inferior. And then you will act accordingly. And that is where the problem is. How you see yourself in comparison to someone will cause you to behave in a particular way. And that is what the problem is. If you see yourself as superior, you will take advantage of other people. Hmm? You'll tread upon the necks of other people because you're superior. Well, I'm better than you. You bow to me. Yeah? But now, if you see yourself as inferior, you will cower and you'll be taken advantage of. Mm-hmm. Resentment will build in both people. Ah, you're not good enough. I could just do away with you. And the other resentment is, oh, you think you're better than me? I'll show you. And now you destroy. So, both of those things. So, how must you see yourself? As the best. Not the best in comparison to, but the best because there's simply you. You. And you are always doing the best that you can with what you have been given. So when you look at it with comparison, that's the problem. And that's why you do not compare yourself to other people. If you're great at getting ideas and you are just quick on your feet and then do that. Because you'll teach people how to do it as well. And then they'll come along and they'll share who they are and they'll teach. And then where is anybody lacking? Nowhere, because we're all teaching each other. We're all learning because we're one. So this is why when you go through your day, you don't have time to be looking at George. You don't have time to be thinking about, oh, well, she's so much more beautiful than I am. She's way ahead. Look at how many followers she's got. Glass house, right? How come she's making more than me? Spend your time and cultivate you. Cultivate your character. What do you mean, my character? Are you kind to you? Are you compassionate to you? Are you gentle with you? Do you know when and when not to? Do you know discernment? That is what you spend your time cultivating about yourself and developing your character, because that is all that matters. You can't be for someone else what you are not for yourself. It is the law of correspondence. what is within you is the only thing you can project outward. That's that's it. You cannot be to someone. You can't be anything for someone unless you are that for yourself, because you must have a blueprint. We just had a glitch in the matrix, but we're fine now. Let's take a moment to welcome everyone into the space. I want you to ponder those things for a moment. Hey, Muck45. Hello, Leo the Titan. I see you. Love Troll. Meep, I see you. Jeff is also here, but I think he's working because he pops in and out. That's everybody on Twitter. And then we have Lilith and Cuddles on the replay gang of Twitter. Yes? Fanbase, who's here? Who is here on Fanbase this lovely morning? We have Simone, Flo Smiles, My Melanin, Yolanda. We have Summer Rose, Miss McQueen, KZ, Matthias, Zola. Hello, Night. I see you. I see you. And YouTube, I know we have Indy on Facebook. YouTube. Yes, Cyber was a glitch in the Matrix, like for real. It just said something went wrong. And I had to reboot you guys. Sonia, Cynthia, and Olivia. Hey, Iapo, I see you. Not Mozinga, I see you too. And for the others who've not made themselves known, I know you're here. And you're part of the replay gang. Anywho, here's what we're going to recap and talk about. Comparison. And why comparison? Because I wanted to talk about this one for a little bit. But again, I was watching Kung Fu Panda. And Master Oogway was like, hey, that's the Dragon Warrior and you've got to train him. But he's just a panda. He doesn't know anything. He's never trained a day in his life. But both master and student had to learn something. The master had to learn that everyone is not the same. Sounds like you're the master in this situation. And you are also the student. Fancy that. You have to recognize you are not the same. We are all human, sure we are. Half of us are male and the other half are female, sure. That's what makes us equal. But we have different characteristics. And those characteristics are there because of what we've gone through. And how you see them can either be a stumbling block or a stepping stone in your life. But what makes it worse, yeah? Or what makes it better, is if you compare yourself to someone else. Comparison will suck the life out of you on both ends. Whether you deem yourself to be superior or you deem yourself inferior, you will act accordingly. And both those things are a danger. So you have to spend the time to develop and cultivate you, not so that you can be better or outshine somebody else. You don't see Venus trying to outshine anybody else. Something might be brighter than the sun. We don't even know. But they play their own role. They are the best at being themselves. The sun does not try to become the moon. The moon does not try to become the sun. They just simply have their specific roles that they play. and they do them to the best of their ability. This is what happens. So you have your role, you have your character, you have you. So when you open up the dragon scroll looking for the warrior or the secret to the warrior, the secret is this: spend the time to develop you, because there is only you. So because you see somebody and you think they're more successful than you, you're looking at them and basing success on what you think they are. So you will always fall short because you're not looking at what your success is. What does success mean to you? What does failure mean to you? Not to George. Somebody called, what was that, Mozinga? I was called George yesterday because I say that name so much. Sonia. But there's only you. Comparison will blind you. It will prevent you from seeing your true beauty and your true essence. That's what it will do. I can think of one man, Bruce Lee. He didn't care what anybody else's opinion was of him. He did what he did, and to the best of his ability. Right? And then you've got Jet Li, Jackie Chan. They're all unique in their own way. Why? They spent their time to develop who they were. Because we're talking about Kung Fu, right? But that's it. It is everywhere you look. There's only one Usain Bolt. There's only one Tiger Woods. So if you don't spend your time developing you, right? Because you don't think you've got anything special, the secret ingredient, then you are the one who becomes resentful of everybody else's success. Not because you can't have success, but because you're busy comparing yourself to someone else. If you are quick on the draw and you can see a pattern somewhere, and you know when to act and when not to, then hone that craft and do it. And it'll take you where you need to go. A man's gifts make room for him and brings him before great men. And the reason why you cultivate by way of the law of correspondence. As within, so without. If you do not cultivate kindness, gentleness, how are you going to project them outward? Yes. You must cultivate what is within you first. As within, so without. But we keep looking for it on the outside. Apple, try taking money out of the bank you don't have in there. We call that a robbery. If it is not within you, how can you project it outward? This is the point. I'm going to drill that home. Why can't you be more like your sister? Why can't you be more like your brother? Well, you know, your granny was like this. Your pappy was like that. That's what they were like. But what are you like? There's only one you. And as I mentioned slightly earlier before in this conversation, there is only one you. If you are not the best at being you, well, it will build resentment in you when you compare yourself to someone else. Yeah, but that person was picked and I wasn't. I have more qualifications than them. You think I don't know what it feels like to train somebody and then they get the promotion? Been there, done that. But still, there's only one me. There is only one of you. So, what are you going to do with that information? Are you now going to practice and hone your skills? Hmm? Are you going to do that? Iapo. The one thing that is certain, you can always find someone who you perceive as better or you perceive as worse. The irony is there's no such thing as someone who is better or worse than you. And this is exactly correct. My granddaddy, wise man that he is, he would always say, oh, sure, technically there might be somebody better than you if you train in the same things, but there's only one you. You have to be the best at being you. Because if you do not, if you spend your time, how do you stop comparing yourself to someone else? Well, first you have to catch yourself if you're doing it. Oh my God, look at their subscriber count. Oh my God, look at what they're doing. Look at how many books they've written. Look at how much they've done. And what are you doing? You see, when we compare, right, we forget something. That person is doing something. What are you doing? Are you just comparing or are you doing what you're good at? Because that's what they're spending their time doing, what they're good at. It doesn't matter if they're a better designer than you. You have a unique eye, a unique outlook that puts your creations together, your designs together. Do you, boo boo? Do you, is what, that's what young people are saying these days. But that's the whole point. It is law. Because when you stop and you start doing you, you start doing what you're good at and cultivating your essence, because that is where you are polarized. Well, opportunities come along and you keep doing it. And the more you do it, the better you get at what you do. That is the law. Because energy flows where attention goes, right? It is polarity. When you are polarized in the direction of practicing and honing your craft, opportunities will present themselves for you because that is the way it is. Why? Because every cause has its effect and every effect its cause. It is law. So when you stop and you compare yourself to someone else, you are now polarized in the other direction. So you must come upon a closed door, a closed window. You don't have a choice. That's where you're polarized. You're polarized there because you are looking at your inferiority. You are looking at how much you are lacking. So, what must you see? You will see everything you're lacking. Why? Because that's where you're polarized. It is law. I don't make the law, I'm governed by it. So, that's why you must polarize yourself in the direction of where you say you are going and who you are. Day in and day out, you've got to get up and do it. And a funny thing happens because the law is just beautiful, right? If you say, well, you know, I'm not really good at that thing, but I would like to learn it, then an opportunity presents itself just out of thin air? No, cause and effect. You get the opportunity to learn the thing. And then you learn it and you practice. Oh my God, I didn't know I would enjoy it this much. And then another opportunity presents itself because that's where you're polarized. That's where you're looking. But you see, they're better than me. I can't do it as good as them. Bam, one door closes. You see, I knew it. Look at how they get promoted all the time, and I don't. Bam, another door closes. And then we think, or we have the audacity to say. We wave our fist in defiance at the universe and we say, "How dare you mistreat me and shut me out?" The universe will never shut you out or mistreat you. It cannot, because then it would be divided against itself. It only knows one thing, itself, and it continually grows and expands. Only abundance, because it is governed by law also. So, in order to get the universe on your side, quote unquote, there's no side. But in order to get it on your side, learn how to polarize yourself in the direction you say you want to be in. And when you do that, oh, it's magic. Mm? That's what they tell you. It looks like magic. It looks like a coincidence. Oh, wow, everything is just working out for me. No, you're just polarized in the direction you say you want to go. So it is inevitable that it happened that way. It is law. We keep looking for the magic, but there isn't any. It is only law. And here's the beautiful thing about that: you can't get it wrong. Wherever you are aligned, you will know. That's why I keep telling you, don't compare yourself to other people. Again, how do you stop comparing yourself? By recognizing when you compare yourself, you are in alignment with law. And how you see yourself is how you will behave. And how you behave is how you will be treated by way of law. So you decide. It's up to you. It is up to you, right? This is what it is. Iapo, one of the most important lessons I've learned in life is when I don't measure myself by the standards of others. It allowed me to discover my lane. Once I knew my lane, I mashed the what I you mashed the gas to the floor. But that's the whole point. That's it right there. We call it niche marketing. That's one of the first things. Yolanda, our resident marketer. That's what they always tell you. Find your niche. Find your niche. You can't find your niche if you compare yourself. You can't. If you watch politicians, right? All the mudslinging, that's what they do. They tell you how bad the other guy is, but never once do they tell you what they are. Not in plain English, they don't. But you will learn a lot about a person when they compare themselves. You'll know exactly how they feel about themselves. Why? Because of the law of correspondence. From the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Whatever is inside of them, they will show you. They will tell you. They will act it out. That is how far reaching comparison is, right? Looking at, Iapo also says, also looking only at numbers or stats does not paint the whole picture. Are they better, or did they get a leg up? Were they given a chance you didn't get? Exactly. You see what happens when you are polarized in the direction of inferiority, right? What? How'd they get that? Nepotism, you say. Oh, I can't catch a break. How can you when you are not looking for it? You're not polarized in the direction of success. This is why you must be the one to define what success means to you. Not what something or someone on the outside says. Well, Go to school and get an education, you get married, you have 2.3 kids, a dog, and a parakeet. That is success. Oh, and the house on the hill. That is success. According to whom? Is that according to you? You have to define the parameters. If you say, I'm going to do this today, dot, 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 and you do it today, then you are successful. If you say, you know what, that's not me, I won't be doing that, and you don't do it, then you are successful. You have to define. But in order to define, you must know the self. Just like Kung Fu Panda. He had to know he was a panda, and he had to realize the strengths of a panda, and he had to use them. What looked like his weakness, which was food, was actually his strength because he ate all the time. But he had to use that as his strength because that's what it was. It gave him his physique, did it not? And that is what he used every single time. But because people took him for granted, well, you're a panda. You cannot defeat me. Two people told him that already so far, if you've seen all the movies. You cannot defeat me. They judged him based upon the fact that what? He wasn't like them. They compared themselves to him, which ended up in their defeat. You cannot compare yourself to other people. Find what you are. It is in there. What did you learn? Use that. And how are you going to use it? Well, it depends on your intention. You see, you shape your intention. This is why comparison is bad. On the negative side and the positive side, but there's a way down the middle. If you're going to compare yourself, are you better than you were yesterday? There it is, right? When you're looking out that window and you're watching life go by, your intention, you shape your intention based upon how you perceive yourself to be. If you deem yourself inferior, well, then inferior people, you say it all the time, oh my God, you got an inferiority complex. What do? They try to take over the world because they don't like being on the bottom. But they only think they're on the bottom. They actually aren't. But because they perceive themselves to be on the bottom in comparison to someone else, they become tyrants. But then, you see how inferior and superior are the same? Look at it. They're the same in their nature. If you deem yourself to be superior, what will you do? Take over the world. You will crush people because you think you're better than they are. So, what's the outcome on both ends of the spectrum? Yes, they take over the world. Oh my God, he's got a superiority complex. Both complexes will do the same thing, destroy to take it over because they feel a particular way about themselves. Hmm. That is a lesson in polarity. You see how both inferior and superior are the same in their nature. They bring about the same outcome. They're just different words, but the vibrations. One's moving a little slower, but it accomplishes the same thing. One's moving a little faster, and it accomplishes the same thing. Hmm? So, what will you spend your time doing? Cultivating you or comparing you? Your perception, yes, will shape your intention, your will. Oh, and it will cause you to do something. So then, What's the secret? The secret is to discover who you are and how you see yourself. Neville Goddard always says it's the concept of self. Because the way you see yourself is the way you speak to yourself. The way you speak to yourself is the way you will act. And the way you act is the way you will be treated. This is law. As within, so without. It is the law of correspondence. Listen, it is all of them because there's only one law. I trust that today these things make sense to you. Andrea, darling, I see you. Because we spend so much time. Hmm? You waste time when you compare yourself to others. I know Neville Goddard said, if you are so tempted to compare yourself, then look at the mind of the person. Look at their mind. What are they doing? Are they focused? Are they disciplined? Well, you can learn all those things. How does one develop discipline? By doing it's called a habit. By doing the same thing the same way every time. That is discipline. Discipline is to learn to do something. That's what discipline is. Learn to do something. So what are you spending your time learning? How are you speaking to yourself? I want you to notice the seed of who you are, the essence of who you are, is what is projected outward into the world. It has to be that way because that is law. Gender projection, to project outward from the consciousness into what? The womb of creation, your subconscious mind. What are you projecting from you into you? What? Now that is what you're planting day in and day out. The way you see yourself, your concept that you hold of yourself, the thing you hold to be true about yourself is what you continually recreate. Because it's a cause. It will cause you to do something, causation. And every cause has its effect. The effect will be the experience that you get on the outside. But we want to break the mirror to change the reflection. You can't break the mirror because you'll end up with a broken mirror. That's the only thing that'll be broken, but you haven't changed. It's not the mirror, it's the concept that you hold of yourself. That's what will cause you to compare. So, to fix comparison, you have to go back to how do I see myself? Well, polarity is a great companion. Polarity says to you, hello, darling. Where are you now? And what are you doing? That is what polarity will say to you. And polarity will always listen, you can lie to polarity if you want, but you won't get the right results, will you? That's why it is always encouraged to do what? To be honest with yourself. Where are you now and what are you doing? Because then she will whisper to you, ah, I see. So, where do you want to go and what do you want to be doing? You use the list that you just wrote. Well, I really feel bad about myself. This person is so much better than me. And every time I see that, I never try anymore and I procrastinate all the time. And then again, she will ask you, where do you want to be? Well, I would like to be confident. So, what does a confident person do? Well, It looks like they're sure of themselves. Are you sure of yourself? Not really. How can I be more sure of myself? What are you good at? Do more of that. And when you do more of that, you build your confidence. You go anywhere, you can speak about what you know. So now what do? You spend your time cultivating yourself. This is how we apply the law on a daily basis. That is how you apply the law in the direction, wherever you want to be polarized, yes? From where you are now to where you want to be. And you notice how there's only now? Because when you look at where you are now and what you're doing, and you see it because you have it written before you, and you see, oh my God, I'm so blah, blah, blah right now. Okay, so what does that type of person behave like? And start behaving like that when? Now. Not tomorrow or next week. Now. But polarity, I'm scared. It's okay to be scared. Your hand can shake while you're doing it now. It's okay. You're just scared because you haven't practiced long enough, that's all. But it will go away the more you practice. So, where are you and what are you doing in your life? And now you see the reason why you can't lie? Well, you can if you want to, but it's ill advised because then you will build the new thing on the lie. You have to be honest with yourself, right? Be honest with yourself. Polarity did not once, nor will she, say that you're stupid. Because polarity doesn't work on feelings. The law does not work on feelings. It simply works on fact. Where are you now and what are you doing? Where do you want to be and what do you want to be doing? And you begin to do those things. No feelings involved, just get her done. But we have tear ducts. I guess we have to use them. Right? So cry if you must. It's okay. But as long as you're crying in the direction you say you want to be in, because you're moving in that direction, the law of vibration tells you nothing stands still. Everything is moving. So you can cry just in the direction you say you're going in till you're done crying. Hmm. But why would you? Why would you not? It's okay to cry. It's okay to stomp your feet and be mad, but in the direction you say you want to go in. Why? Because you will be presented with opportunities, because every cause has its effect. So, because you are pointed or polarized in the direction that you say you want to be in, and you are doing the new actions, you can only come upon opportunities that match that cause. That is what you're doing. So, if you go in the other polarized direction, you can only encounter things that match. You can only encounter effects that match that cause. That's it. Queen Red Pill. It's my party. I can cry if I want to. Yes, this is the whole point today. It's all right. Everything's gonna be all right. Because it is all right. Point yourself in the direction you say you want to go and begin to behave in that fashion. Because that's who you say you want to be. And the more you practice that behavior, well, the better you get at it. And the better you get at it, you form what? A new concept of yourself and a new habit, a new way of being. But you know what we do? Because we're human, right? You want to keep doing the same thing. Didn't Einstein say that? You keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. You can't. If you keep doing the same cause, you're only going to get the same effect that matches that cause. So if you want a new effect, well, then, my brother, you've got to do a new cause. Simple as that. Oh, but Angela, you make it seem so easy. Because it is. It is. You just gotta, let me see. I gotta shake it off. You gotta shake off the old way of being. One of the little known powers that we gain when we stop comparing ourselves to others is the power to say confidently and boldly, I don't know. But that's exactly it. Iapo. And when you say, well, I don't know, now you get to decide, would you like to know? Well, then you learn. See? You open your eyes. This is the beauty of who you are. But we hide our beauty. Hmm? Oh, but what if they think I'm better? What if they think that I think I'm better than them? What's that have to do with you? That's their perception. Their perception is based upon what they've gone through in their lives and what they currently hold fast to. So you are going to diminish yourself because you are afraid of how you will be perceived? Listen, the perception that matters is yours. Why? Because your perception of yourself will dictate. Oh, yes. It will dictate how you think, how you speak, and how you behave, thus influencing how you are treated. So you still want to put that in somebody else's hands? No, 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 no. Don't do that. That is ill advised. Oh, but Angela, what if I become a megalomaniac? How does a megalomaniac perceive themselves to be? Superior. And we all know what happens, right? Why do they deem themselves superior? Because at some point in their lives, they were beat down so much, they decided, nope, you ain't gonna beat me down anymore. I'm a beat down before I'm beat down. And what is the root of that? What is the stench of that? Fear. Period. It is only fear. This is why we don't judge. We don't judge, understand. Understand who they are based upon their actions. And a funny thing will happen. When you figure that out, you let me know what that funny thing is. The funny thing is the way you will treat them now. Because now you're not looking at them through the lens of, oh my God, who do you think you are? No, when you see their behavior, you will know that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. The law of correspondence is at work. The law of gender is at work. You will notice they are projecting what is within them. And when you see what is within them, you will say, ah, I understand you. And then you will treat them based upon the understanding instead of what they're projecting outward that causes pain. And what will you have done? You will have transmuted. You will have transmuted the negative into the what? Positive. The harmful into the helpful. That's what you will have done. Thereby protecting yourself. And in Kung Fu, you call that what? Deflection. You will point it right back towards them so they can see themselves more clearly. They may or may not see it, but that's not your job. Your job is just to make sure you don't get a spear. Right? Once you see it, you'll know how to act. So that coworker that ruffles your feathers, gets under your skin, begin to understand them by way of law. And then you'll stop having your feathers ruffled on a daily basis. because you will understand why they behave the way they do. And when you see why they behave the way they do, you will not be triggered. Hmm. So you see, the law is not this far fetched thing. You must use it every single day. Mhm. Every single day. It is neither friend nor foe, but it is what you need it to be in the situation you're in at the time. This is your word today. Everybody was kung fu fighting, right? You just got to understand what's coming out in that projection and then act accordingly. Because when you see it, you won't allow it to hurt you. And because you won't allow it to hurt you, they're going to look at you like, you remove the venom from it, thereby protecting yourself without having to lift a finger. Cyber, right? Um, Iapo says, there's no shame in not knowing. But the worst look is when someone is speaking on something they don't know to someone who does know and sees through the BS. Mm, understood. Understood. Right? Oh, I feel that. And when we say humility, because we have to touch on this, right? Um, we have this interpretation of humility as that. I will give you this example. When Thoth was asked questions, sometimes he would not respond. Not because he didn't know or whatever, but it had a lot to do with the student that was asking the question. Were they ready to hear the answer? Right? So he just kept silent. You're not keeping silent because you're proud or whatever the situation is. You're keeping your silence because that is the best for the situation. So humility then should be, I think, it's just an opinion, because I don't like how we use that word in today's society. You say, oh, you got to be humble, meaning, yeah, yeah, that whole doormat kind of thing. At least that's how I interpret humility. Whereas to me, humility means you just practice discernment. You know when and when not to, right? Sometimes the situation calls for silence, sometimes it calls for words. Knowing when to do those things and not speaking out of turn is what I would say, but I I need more time in the silence to give a more refined answer on humility. But that's just my in response to Iapo, humility is a part of alignment and congruency. That's that's where that came from, because he mentioned humility. Queen Red Pill says most folks project their energies onto others and they're actually talking about themselves. Well, yes, it is the law of correspondence, as within, so without. From the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So if you can interpret those things, so if somebody's trying to, like, if they're cussing you out, what's the natural thing to do? Why, I oughta. You start shaking your fist. Them is fighting words, as opposed to standing still and observing the situation. What are they saying? What are they actually saying? Exactly. They're projecting outward because it is law. We all project. Good, bad, or indifferent, we all project. What we project is what we are. So you can learn a lot about a person by observing what they project outward. And when you observe, you don't get emotionally involved because you're just watching. You're watching because they're telling you something. They're telling you who they are. And when you see who they are, now you can act accordingly. Ah, they're in pain. Well, I can't carry that pain for you, which means you don't allow it to hurt you. So now that you get upset and there's a brawl. But if you observe and you say, oh, snap, they are in pain. Whew, you know what? Oh, I wish some healing for you. You can just whisper that to yourself because that's a projection outward to them. And you just back away. Why? Because they're projecting pain. You want to stand in front of that and have it affect you? No. Exactly. That's exactly it, Queen Red Pill. When you begin to discern the law of correspondence and what they are doing, you protect yourself, right? So that you don't allow it to hurt you. So, what are you good at? Begin to practice those things. If you are busy doing those things, then you don't have time to compare yourself. And if you catch yourself comparing yourself to someone else, give kudos. Ah, they're the best at being them. I am the best at being me. Just like that. Hmm? I'm the best at being me. You're the best at being you. We're cool. Hmm? That is the beauty of what we have, right? So I trust it makes sense today. Ah, Iapo, yes. He says when he lets his 3-year-old beat him in a foot race, it's because he knew he could beat him, right? He knew. Boy, he's bigger and he's got a longer stride. 3, man, they just learned how to walk. So he let him win. Humility. I love that. Iapo. Thank you. So you see, my beautiful friends, today, right? We don't compare ourselves anymore at all. When you catch yourself doing it, ah, they're the best at being them. I'm the best at being me. And how does one become the best at an activity to make it a habit? Well, you practice it. Practice doing the things that you are good at. Practice your moves, practice your stances. But you will notice time to just be and to learn who you are. Learn who you are so you know what seeds you're planting. Hmm. Isn't that beautiful? The law is amazing, my friends. It really, really is. And the more we apply it, the more beautiful we become because it only brings beauty. It doesn't do anything else. But it's when we forget the law and who we are that we create a distortion. But distortion or not, all is governed by way of law. And that's what I meant when I said to you that you can't get it wrong. Wherever you're polarized, whatever cause you choose has an effect. That will never change. But you get to decide what cause you're going to use instead. Right? So, anywho, you know where to find me. You can click on the link tree in my bio or in the description. You can email me. Tonight, we're going to hit the bowl, y'alls. We're going to hit the bowl. What? We are simply going to unwind the Tibetan bowl, David, or the crystal bowl. I haven't decided yet. I haven't decided if to use crystal or the Tibetan bowl. I have not decided which one we're going to do tonight. But the reason why we do it, the law of vibration, everything moves, nothing stands still. And so, whatever instrument is played, you begin to vibrate at that same frequency. Well, You ding the C note on a tuning fork in a room full of pianos, every single piano will vibrate at C. So, what do you think music does to you? You use the law of correspondence to put that one together. As above, so below. As within, so without. So, whatever it is you're playing or listening to, you will vibrate at that frequency. Hmm? So, that's why we use the law of vibration that way. From the third bowl, David, what you saying? I don't get. Oh, I hear you. The crystal bowl is the sacral chakra. The Tibetan bowl is 432 hertz. So they're not the same frequency. No, they're not the same frequency. So that's why I'll only do one or the other. But you can't do them together. Um, I don't want to break my crystal ball. You crazy? I hold that thing with kid gloves. Come on. But that's the whole point of allowing ourselves to just have that moment of allowing the body to just come to a place of ease is why we do it. It helps with a whole host of things, right? I'll get into light therapy also because the green light, funny, the green light has a vibrational frequency of 528 hertz. Hmm, DNA, the green light. Hmm, see? Lots when you deal with vibration. So that's what we do Tuesdays. And that would be at 9:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on YouTube. Yes, and on Fanbase and Facebook. I don't do it on Twitter. Um, I just don't. um, that's what we do Tuesdays, 9:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We hit the bowl. Um, what else can I tell you? Law school is going on. We're on chapter 2. We're almost ready to do the live stream with your questions. So get your questions in. If you want to be part of law school, you click on the link tree and it says law school. You click on that, it'll take you to Patreon. If you say, oh my God, Angela, I just can't, just slide into my DMs. Okay? Just slide into my DMs. Um, or if you like what we do here, you can join YouTube for 99 cents a month. You can do that too. Um, if you have a topic you want to understand better by way of law, or a Bible story that you want to understand better by way of law, send me an email. The little email icon, the envelope, is in the link tree as well. All my social media platforms are on the link tree as well. So you can follow me there and DM me there. Um, and then, of course, on Wednesday with Lance, we talk about current events and the law. We see the current event, and I show you where the law is and what law to use instead to counter things. That's always a fun time. Oh, it is. It is always a fun time. And who knows what I will wear in my hair? Who knows? Because this afro is getting kind of big right now. So I don't know if I'll part it or put a flower in or wrap it up. I don't know. We don't know. But we have fun with all aspects of the law, don't we? So I just love you guys. Countdown. Hey, love troll. Roo baby. I see you. Countdown initiated. Let me see. Queen Red Pill. Uh, oh, oh, you're welcome. Because she did ask me a question about children and the law. It was a beautiful question. Yeah, yeah. No worries. And I trust that you all are going to practice non comparison, right? We compare cars and their fuel mileage, but we don't compare people. No, you don't compare people. No, no. Anywho, countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, Twitter. I love you. I'll see you like, who was doing that the other day? Somebody was talking like that. Yes. And my cousins always say, oh my God, you're such a valley girl. I never even knew what a valley girl was until they told me. They talk like how you're talking now, Angela. I'm like, dude, that's just the way I talk. Like, oh my God. But allegedly, that's a valley girl. So, anywho, valley girl I may be. I love you, Twitter. Twitter is closed. Fanbase. I see you, Zola, Miss McQueen, Flo Smiles, My Melanin, Matthias, Summer Rose, Coach, Knight, KZ. Oh, um, the Clarity Doctor. Hello, darling. I see you. And beautiful, I see you. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for the love. And I do appreciate you all. I will check my DMs so that I can respond to people. And again, if you are part of law school, you better be reading chapter 2 and submitting your questions so that what? We can learn how to apply the law on a daily basis and learn the law itself. The law, the law, the law, because there's nothing else. I love you, fan base. I'll see you soon. Fan base is closed. I'll keep it open so that I can do DMs. I can respond to DMs. So, Facebook and YouTube, I see you all also. Iapo and David, Cyber, Queen, Red Pill. Let's see who else was here today. Um, ah, Andrea, darling. Mozinga, Sonia, Cynthia, and Olivia. And Anot. I see y'alls. And for the replay gang. For the replay gang. Empress Ella. The Better Man. Ms. M. Sinovia. Um, my beauty queen Onika. Sugar. Oh, I just opened my eyes to say Sugar Visions and Zola, and there you guys are. I see you. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. You know, the algorithm. As within, so without. That's how I apply the algorithm. As within, so without. The quality you find here projected outward. And we can only grow from there. Because it's not the growth necessarily that I majorly care about. It is the causation. The people who are looking for this information, right? They'll find it if we project it outward because they're looking for it. That's what drives me. 7 o'clock on the dot, or 9, wherever you are. So, yeah, we can do that. We can share. And oh, the Clarity Doctor, he sent me a DM. Aw, I say thank you. You guys, see, that's what's so beautiful about the law. People are looking for it, and they're looking for practical ways of applying the law in their everyday lives. That's the best part, to realize that we are free, right? That is what people are looking for. They're looking for freedom. Freedom. You know? Aw, I love you guys. Well, now I gotta go and work. I gotta work. I gotta record. I've got this book I'm working on, so I gotta get that done and submitted. I'm almost done. I'm at the halfway mark now. If I persist, I can get it done by tomorrow. So that's the beautiful part, right? Um, yeah, that's all. So thank you again for being here, my beautiful friends. And I will see you again tonight, 9:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're going to hit that ball. Love you very much.